Here's something a little bit different to give the trick-or-treaters this year. Some Halloween-themed cupcakes with an oozy, bloody, gruesome centre. And for this recipe you'll need 125 grams of caster sugar, unsalted butter and self-raising flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 2 eggs, a punnet of raspberries, some icing sugar, some food colouring and some sweets to decorate. And firstly you need to sift the self-raising flour into a large mixing bowl. And then add in the 125 grams of caster sugar and half a teaspoon of baking powder. Bring your unsalted butter to room temperature and cube it up, then add it to the mixing bowl, and then crack in 2 eggs as well. And then thoroughly mix everything together with a wooden spoon until there are no lumps left and it's a really smooth mixture. Or for an easy life, use a food processor on a low speed setting. Once your cake mixture is thoroughly combined, this is where you add the food colouring. Now, because it's a sponge, it will lighten when it's being cooked, so don't be afraid because you'll need to add quite a bit to change the colour of your buns. And then mix everything together until you're happy with the colour of your mixture. And now you need to get your cake tin. And start off by putting 8 of your cake cases into the tin. And all you need to do here is evenly split the mixture into 8 and then put them into the cases. And we find it's really useful here to use an ice cream scoop to portion out the mixture. And once that's done, you need to preheat the oven to 180 degrees and put your cakes in for between 25 and 30 minutes. And make sure you keep an eye on them to check that they're not burning. Now whilst the buns are in the oven, we're going to prepare the icing, which we're going to drizzle on the top of them. So to make enough, make sure you mix some water into some icing sugar until you're left with a nice thick paste. And then stick it in the fridge to set whilst the buns are left to cook. Similarly, we're going to prepare the gruesome raspberry centre, which is going to go in the middle of the cupcakes. So you can prepare this as well by just simply mashing them with a fork. Now, after at least 25 minutes, your cupcakes should be ready, and they should be nice and golden brown on the top. And make sure they're cooked in the middle by sticking the knife in and making sure it comes out clear. And then leave them to cool thoroughly. Once they're cool, for any of the cupcakes that have risen a bit too much, simply slice the top off. Then we need to be able to stuff the cupcakes with the raspberries, so with an apple corer, carefully twist it into the cupcake, lifting out the middle, being careful that you don't go all the way to the bottom. And then fill the middle of the cupcakes up with your gruesome mashed up raspberries. Then using some of the centre that you pulled out with the apple corer, slice the end off and then put it back on the top to cover the raspberries. Then get your icing sugar and drizzle it over the top of the cupcakes, and it's nice here to let it fall down naturally to give them an eerie ghostly effect. Then get some Halloween themed decorations and sweets and stick them on the top to the icing. And then finally, get some of the juices from the raspberries and drizzle them on top of the cupcakes to make it look like they're dripping as well as oozing with blood. Enjoy!